Okay, guys, so let's get started. So like I said, we are looking at personal income tax. So we're just going to look at a few important words or terms. So just to remind ourselves, tax is a compulsory contribution to government revenue. So everyone needs to pay tax. Income tax is a tax levied on all income made by a taxpayer. So your income tax depends on your income. The higher your income, the more tax you are going to pay. Okay, and then pay as you earn. This is the income tax that is deducted directly from an employee's salary. So the pay as you earn tax comes off of your salary before it is paid to you. You'll see it on your pay slip. And then taxable income. Okay, so this is very important for today's lesson. Taxable income is the part of your income that is actually taxed. So you don't get taxed on your gross income. Remember, gross income is before deductions. So our taxable income is the amount of our salary that is actually taxed. To work out taxable income, we look at the little orange formula. We take our gross income and we minus non-taxable income. So before we can work out how much tax someone needs to pay, we first have to work out their taxable income, the amount of money that they can be taxed on. Okay, good screenshot moment. Make sure you've got that formula. So like I said, we take our gross income, we minus non-taxable incomes. The next one is, what are our non-taxable incomes? These are deductions that come off our salary before it gets taxed. So this includes pension fund, donations, and retirement annuities. Okay, so if we need to work out someone's taxable income, the amount they get taxed on, we take their gross salary, we minus any pension contributions, any RA, which is retirement annuity contributions, or any donations. Those three things specifically. Okay, not just any deductions. Apologies. Okay, so let's have a look at how personal income tax works. So this is one little diagram that might be useful. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but this is just one way to explain it or try to remember it. So we all start off with a gross income. Okay, then to work out income tax, we minus our non-taxable income, which is what we just spoke about. Okay, so we take our gross income. If we have any pension funds or RAs or donations, we take that off. We minus it. That gives us our taxable income. So what I've just explained now is the same as this formula at the top here. So working out taxable income, we take our gross minus the non-taxable, so minus any pension, RA, or donations, and we get our taxable income. So this is the income that can be taxed. Now to work our tax, once we've got our taxable income, we check if we are within the threshold. We then work through the tax brackets, minus any rebates and medical tax credits if there are any. And once we work all of that out, we have calculated someone's personal income tax. Okay, just going to quickly erase it. So it's a nice little diagram for you to take a screenshot of. So it's important to note, sometimes in a question, they will give you someone's gross income. Or in the question, they give you the taxable income straight away. If they give you the taxable income, they will tell you, and that means you don't have to worry about this top part. Then you just check which tax bracket the person falls into, you calculate their tax amount, you minus the rebates, and you minus medical tax credits if there are any. Tax brackets and rebates are always in the question You'll always have to work out a tax bracket, and you always minus rebates. Sometimes medical tax credits are involved, sometimes they aren't. If they're not there, then you don't have to worry about them. Okay. So hopefully everyone remembers this. Can anyone tell me what a rebate is? What is a rebate? Anyone? Who remembers what a rebate is? Yes, something like a discount. That's exactly it. It's a little portion that you get that gets taken off your tax amount based on your age. Good. The amount of money someone pays by age. So it's basically that someone gets off, like gets a discount based on the age. So the older you are, the more discounts you might get. All right. So then let's just look at tax threshold. This is the income level at which a person begins paying tax. So they'll always give you a table on thresholds. And so, for example, if you are below 65 in this table, you need to be earning a salary, annual salary of 79,000 Rand. Okay, if you're between 65 and below 75, you need to be earning this kind of annual salary and so on. Okay, so this is the amount that someone needs to earn before they can start paying tax. And then this is just an example of what a tax table looks like. So once you have someone's taxable income, so here it is over here. Once we have minus the pension, any RAs or donations, we then look at the tax bracket that the person falls into. So let's say, for example, they fall into tax bracket 3. That means their salary falls between these two numbers. Okay. And once we've identified the tax bracket, we look to the right of the table and we use this information over here to actually calculate the tax amount. Okay, so that's just a recap on what a tax table looks like. And then another screenshot moment. This is just, instead of the other diagram, another way you could learn how to work out tax. There are 6 steps. Find the annual gross income. You subtract non-taxable income, which we've spoken about. You identify the correct tax brackets. We then work out using BODMAS. We minus any rebates and medical tax credits. We get our answer. If they want the monthly amount, we just divide by 12. Okay, so it's just a little bit of information overload at the moment, just a little bit of revision on how we do things. Okay, so first step is always checking, do we have taxable income or gross income? Okay, if we have gross income, we need to work out our taxable income. So we minus the pension RA donations. Then we can go look at the tax bracket and then we work out the tax from there. So let's try a few examples. Okay, so the first one, Serfatso is 33 years old and earns a taxable income of 320,000 Rand per annum. Calculate A, the tax bracket she falls into, B, her annual tax payable. Okay, so the first thing to take note of, let's highlight the important things. So age is important because that tells us which rebates the person's going to qualify for. Is it primary and secondary, or is it all 3? Then we look at the kind of income they've given us. Have they given us gross or taxable? They have given us taxable income, and they've given it to us for the year, the yearly amount. We always want the yearly amount. So because they've given us the taxable income, we don't have to worry about minusing pension, don't have to worry about minusing donations and RAs. Okay, so now we can look at this 320,000 and answer question A. Which tax bracket does she fall into? Who can tell me? she does qualify for primary rebate, but we're going to look at which tax bracket Segofatso falls into.
The question.
Bukhari, that is correct. Okay, so we're looking at this salary amount. Remember, it always needs to be the yearly salary. We know it's the yearly one because it says per annum. Okay, so now we go look at these brackets over here. We can see that 320 falls within this range, that bracket. So your answer would be tax bracket 2. You could also write the actual bracket 205, 901, 321, 600. Okay. B, we now need to work out her annual tax payable. They want to know what is her yearly amount of tax that she needs to pay. So going back to our steps, we don't need to worry about this one. We don't need to worry about this one because we were given the taxable income. We've identified the correct tax brackets. Now, step 4 says substitute taxable income into the correct formula. So what that means is, now that we've identified the correct tax bracket, I'll look at the information on the right-hand side, which is 37,062 plus 26%, and we substitute that salary into the bracket here. So we say 26% open brackets, we fill in the salary that we've been given, 320,000 minus the amount that's in the table here, which is 205.
900.
Yes. Okay, then based on the mark allocation, you might need to do all the steps separately. So work out the brackets and work out the times and so forth. Okay, so I'm just going to do the full one for you just to show you every single step that can be involved. Okay, so according to BODMAS, we do the brackets first. Okay, which gives us 114,100. We then do the times part next. And that gives us an amount of 66,728. So this is step 4 on how to work out income tax. Step 5 says subtract rebates and annual medical tax credits. Okay, so we don't have medical tax credits, so we don't have to worry about that. So the next step is minus any tax rebates. So I've got my 66,720. Now I go and check which rebate does Segofatso qualify for. It's primary only, good. So we minus, and I see a lot of us have done this already. So she pays 51,770 Rand in tax for the year. If they ask what is her monthly tax payable, we just take our answer and we would divide by 12 if they ask for the monthly. Okay, and that's basically what the last step implies here. It says divide the answer by 12 only if they ask for the monthly tax amount. Okay, so you can literally just follow these 6 steps every single time. Okay. Bontle, there will be some no with medical aid. It's not that common, but yeah, we are going to practice one. Okay, so since you guys were with it and followed very quickly, I'm going to ask you to have a look at this second example. Leah is 66 years old and earns a gross income of 27,000 Rand per month. She contributes 2,025 Rand to a pension fund. Determine A, her taxable income. So important things. Her age, they gave us gross income this time, and they gave us the monthly income. Remember, we need the yearly income. They told us the pension contribution. So step 1 or question 2A is work out taxable income. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to quickly get the taxable income for me. Remember, that was the first formula we wrote down. Let me check Oratile. If we have answers, let's see them. Oratile, just remember to also times the pension by 12. So everything that was given to us is monthly. Her monthly income and her monthly pension contribution. Otherwise, right method. Okay, so I'm just going to write the formula down. Anyone else with an answer for us? Taxable income. What is the amount that she can actually be taxed on? It is our gross income minus non-taxable. Nice, Shells. Nice, Oratile. Good. Okay, so just remember, whenever we are dealing with tax and we need to look at tax brackets and whatnot, the salary needs to be the yearly amount. So the gross income, we were given the monthly gross income. So I'm going to say 27,000 times by 12 minus the only non-taxable income that was mentioned was the pension of 2,025 Rand times by 12. So we can get the yearly amount for each. Okay. So that means the amount that's who we're looking at, Leah can be taxed on is 299,700 Rand. Nice. I see we all have gotten that. Okay, so now that we've got the correct taxable income, question B says, determine the tax bracket she falls into. So we look at this 299,000 and we check into which tax bracket it falls into. Is it tax bracket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? She falls into The second one, tax bracket 2, good. Okay, so I'm just going to put the answer next to the question here, tax bracket 2. You also can write out what I've just highlighted in blue as the answer as well. Okay, question C. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to work out her monthly tax payable. Her monthly tax payable. Okay, as soon as you have calculated the monthly tax payable, let us see it or hear it. Ben, just check if you minus all the rebates. And remember to divide your answer by 12. Oratile, well done. Yes, Charles, awesome. You guys are on fire tonight. Okay, so I've written down the tax brackets. I'm not going to do every single step just to save some time. So if I work out that entire calculation, you get an answer of 61,450. Obviously, in an exam, if it's just for 6 marks, do the brackets, then the multiplication, then the adding, then you do your rebate so you can get all your marks. Okay, so now that I've worked out the tax brackets, the next step is to minus rebates. Leah is 66 years old, so she qualifies for primary and secondary. So you'll say minus 14,958 minus 8,199. So minus in the rebates, that gives you 38,298. And that's how much tax you would pay for the year. But the question asked for her monthly tax bracket, tax payable. So we do step 6, which says divide by 12. So her monthly tax payable amount will be 3,191.08. And for those of you that have answered, did get that correct. Well done. Okay, are there any questions? Are we ready to try some past paper questions? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you are fine so far and ready for the next question. Also need to check if you're all still there. So Oratile, sometimes they might throw in a threshold question just to check that the person's actually earning enough. You'll see it every now and then. It's not really a common question, however. We do, I think, have a question coming up with tax threshold. So this is from a prelim paper last year, the Western Cape paper 1 prelim. Okay, so it says, Michael, a 25-year-old male, is currently working at one of South Africa's biggest milk producing companies as a forklift driver. A lot of information there. The only important thing we need to know is that he's 25 years old. He receives an annual taxable income. So that's great. It's already the yearly income and it's the taxable one. So we don't need to work it out. Okay, and then they give us income tax table as well as the rebate table. And the question at the bottom asks, calculate Michael's annual tax payable. Calculate Michael's annual tax payable. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to quickly try that. Once you have your answer, you can share it in the chat. Nicely done, Oratile. Well done. Yes, Ben, well done. Can't wait to hear your results after these exams, guys. You're doing so well. Last couple of lessons, you've really been acing it. Okay, guys, I'm just going to quickly go through it. It's always a lovely question when they give you the taxable income, because you don't have to worry about minusing pension, working out the yearly amount. It's all done for you. So we need to work out Michael's annual tax payable. So we need to identify the bracket he falls into. 125,000 falls within the first tax bracket. Okay, so that's a nice, easy one. Because all we do is say 18% of his taxable income, 18% of means times. So it's 18% times by 125,325. Okay, and we get an answer of 22,558,50. Then the next step is minus rebates. Because he's 25 years old, he only qualifies for the primary rebates. So he minus 15,714. And that gives you an amount of 6,844,50 for the year. So as you can see, because his yearly salary was a lot smaller than the other examples we've looked at, he obviously doesn't pay as much tax. That's his yearly amount. Okay. Going to move on to the next question. So this was an exemplar paper from 2021. Okay, so practice paper. Mr. Saul, 67 years old, earned a taxable income of 422,830 Rand and 50 cents for the 2020-2021 tax year. Mr. Saul paid 70,893,70 in taxes for the 2019-2020 tax year. Okay, so they've given us his taxable income for the current year, and they've told us what he paid for tax towards taxes last year. Okay, so this is kind of a new way of setting it up. We are used to just the first part being given to us. So just important information, his age. We got the taxable income. So we don't have to do any calculations there, and it's for the year. Okay, then they've given us tax table. They've given us a tax rebate table. So this one looks a little bit different because they've given us so many years, as you can see. It's not that complicated. Okay, they're just giving us a lot more information than we are used to. But all we need to focus on is the year that we are looking at, which is the 2020-2021 year. So we'll just be looking at these numbers over here. So don't let the extra information confuse you. Okay, so question 5.2.1, write down the general trend of the secondary rebate in table 6. So important word there, general trend. When they talk about what is the trend, tell me about increases, decreases. Where is it increasing? Is it increasing the whole time? Does it increase when something else happens? Is there a decrease? That's what they mean by trend. And we are specifically looking at secondary rebates. So we are looking at this row over here. Tell me what the trend is over the years. Okay. So from 2016 up until 2021, what has happened? What trend do we see? Yes. Ben says it increases, or Tile says it increases as the years go by. Perfect. As the years go by, we can see that the rebates increases. So that's all you need to say. As the years go by, the amount of the secondary rebate increases. The amount of the secondary rebate increases. So as the years go by, the amount of the secondary rebate increases. So we've spoken about the years for 1 mark, and we said that the secondary rebate increases as the years go by. So that's 2 things we've mentioned, and it's for 2 marks. Okay, the next question. Identify in which tax bracket Mr. Saul falls based on his taxable income for the 2020-2021 tax year. Okay, so I'm going to just go back up to the top. Looking at his taxable income, which tax bracket does he fall into? Perfect. All identified the correct one. Tax bracket 3. Calculate Mr. Saul's annual tax payable for the 2020-2021 tax year. Okay, so calculate his annual tax payable. Annual tax payable. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to quickly complete that. We've got a raised hand. Yes. Amo.
Just look for a pop-up on your screen that asks you to unmute Amo. There we go.
Ma'am, may you please repeat the question?
Repeat the question. Sure. So we are calculating Mr. Saul's annual tax payable. His annual tax payable. So I'm going to highlight over here. So working out his tax amount for the year. Remember, we need to look at our tax bracket, work that out, minus rebates, and then we get our answer. Does that help?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Okay, so I'm seeing similar answers.
Cookits is asking you to go up.
Go up this way. Yeah. You mean for the age. Okay, do we have any other answers? Charles, yes, well done. Perfect decimals. Oratile, close. We just need to check those decimals. Okay, guys, so let's have a look at how we'd work out the tax payable. So we've identified the correct tax brackets. So we'll be using the information on the side over here. Okay, so we calculate tax bracket, which gives us 70,532 plus 31%. We substitute the income in. Okay. Okay, when we work that all out, I'm not going to do every step. It's going to give you 96,891,455. Now remember, keep all your decimals until the last or till your answer. Okay. If there are more than 6 decimals, try to keep at least up to 5 or 6 decimals. But there were only 3 decimal places here, so we're going to use all 3. You're going to keep them. Okay, so I've got my decimals. I'm going to minus the rebate. SOL qualifies for primary and secondary. So I'm minusing both, which gives you 73,734,46. Okay, so I think a lot of us did not include all the decimal places, but remember that's going to give you the most accurate answer. If we can keep all of them, please do so. Ben, let me quickly check.
It's the
Okay,
same
Ben.
as what you wrote. It was 337,800.
Okay, so I was just sometimes
Oh, I see now.
you're looking at this side of the table.
Yeah, the annual income.
Okay, so don't
Annual
look at that
taxable.
side. Yeah, we look at the number on this side. So all our calculation involves the right-hand side of the table. Okay. And then Otile, you saw the decimals. Yeah, okay, cool. Then the next question, Mr. Saul states that even though he received a salary increase of 5.5%, his income tax increased by more than 5.5% in the 2020-2021 tax year. Verify showing all calculations whether Mr. Saul's statement is correct. So we basically need to check by how much his tax increased by. So that means we need to look at last year's tax versus this year's tax, which is possible because they did give us last year's tax amount. Okay, so let me write it down here. So his old tax amount, 70,893,70, and his tax amount this year, we just worked out, is 73,734,46. So between the 2 years, we can see that the tax has increased by about 3,000, 2,900 odd. Okay, but we want to see the percentage increase. Did it increase by 5.5%? So we are working out percentage increase. Who remembers what formula we use for percentage increase or percentage decrease? It's the same formula to work out the inflation rate. I even gave you a clue with the words I used. Yes, Bukhari. And it was you that mentioned that on Monday, wasn't it? I picked this question especially for you. Great stuff. So it's our formula, new minus old over old times 100. So whenever we want a percentage increase, percentage decrease, percentage change, inflation rates, we use this. So we take our new amount, which is 73,734,46, minus the old amount, which is 70,893,70, over the old amount. And because we want it in percentage form, we times by 100. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to quickly work that out for me and tell me, is his statement correct or incorrect? Did his tax amount increase by 5.5%? No, it didn't increase. Okay, what percentage did it increase by? Okay, let's just check our rounding. What is after that second zero? It's 4,007. So remember we round to 2 decimal places. So we're looking at the second zero. Next to it is a 7, so that 0 needs to go up. And percentages always need to have 2 decimal places. And don't forget the percentage sign. Okay, so that was kind of an odd question to throw in there, but as you can see, the new minus old formula can form part of any finance kind of question. Okay. Let's have a look at the next one. And I specifically want to look at the medical tax credits. So as you can see, it's not very common that they include medical tax credits, but sometimes they do, and we need to know how to use them. Okay, so this is the last question. Mr. Malinga, a 52-year-old resident at Pretoria North, earned a monthly taxable income of 35,357 Rand. During this time, he was a member of a medical fund for himself, his wife, and his 2 children. Okay, so the important information again. His age. Okay, we've got monthly taxable income, so we know we just need to times by 12 because it's already taxable. Okay, and we need the annual. We know that he's part of a medical aid for himself, his wife, and his 2 children. That is important information. Okay, then we've got our tax table underneath. We've got our normal tax rebate table, and now this time they've included medical tax credits. The most important thing to take note of, always, 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 medical tax credits are given per month. So we're always going to have to times them by 12. Okay, so as you can see, main member pays 332 per month, or gets a discount, of 332 per month. First members, that will generally be the person's spouse, whether it's husband or wife, 332, and additional members would be children. Okay. So before we can work out annual taxable income, we need to work out his annual tax payable. Apologies, I interpreted that wrong, read it wrong. Annual taxable income, that's not going to be our last question. Taxable income means our income times by 12. So I'm going to do it up here. Annual taxable income is his monthly income of 35,357 times by 12. And I see we've got some answers in the chat already. Okay, well done. Okay, so this is the part of his income that can be taxed. That's the annual taxable income. Next question. Show with calculations that Mr. Malinga will receive 13,344 Rand medical tax credits for the 2021-2022 tax year. So we need to work out his tax credits, medical tax credits. So remember, it is monthly. So we're going to need 2 times by 12. So how much is Mr. Malinga going to pay for himself or get discount for himself? He would be classified as the main member. So good, the 332. Okay. His wife would be the first member. So that's another 332. And then he's got 2 children. The 2 children would be the additional members. So you can say plus 224, or you can say plus 224 times 2. So per month, medical tax credits is going to be 1,112. That's per month. But remember, when we're working out tax amounts, we always need the yearly amount. So we times by 12. Nice, Ben, well done. Okay, so per month, that's 1,112. If I times that by 12 months, I get an answer of 13,344, which is what we needed to prove. And that's all you do with the medical tax credits. So rebates is just given to you straight. You just work out is a primary, secondary, tertiary. With medical tax credits, you see how many people are on this medical aid. You add up all the amounts and you times by 12 every single time. That's how the medical tax credits work. Okay. Now, the last question, calculate the amount of tax Mr. Malinga must pay for the 2021-2022 tax year. Okay, so we know his annual taxable income is 424,284. So we need to determine which tax bracket he falls into. Which tax bracket does he fall into? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7? Okay, once again, tax bracket 3. So to work out the tax payable, okay, so I've written out the tax bracket. I've substituted the taxable income into it. just to save time, I'm going to tell you once you have worked out that bracket, you are going to get an answer of 97,342,04. Okay, so I've worked out the tax bracket. The next step is minus the rebates. Mr. Malinga only qualifies for the primary rebate. So it's minus 15,714. Now remember with the step with the rebates, they said minus any rebates and medical tax credits. So this is where we minus our medical tax credits of 13,344. So that gives you tax payable amount of 68,284,04. Okay, so the key thing with medical tax credits is working out all the amounts for the members added together, we times by 12. Then we use that amount again. Whenever we minus rebates, if there are medical tax credits involved, we also minus it in this step.